not that situation. Skip, not in that situation, because we saw a very similar situation, Skip. I think it was Denver and Washington, where Jamal Murray has the ball, and instead of a guy going to the basket because it's wide open, everybody goes to the three-point line and they miss it. In this situation, he was not going to be able to get to the basket in the amount of time that he had. So why take a 2 to tie when you could just back up 1 foot and take a 3 for to possibly win? I agree with LeBron.
If you're the best player on the planet, you take one dribble to your left, one dribble forward, and then step back and shoot the 3 to win the game. If you're that guy, but he's not that guy, and he was 1 for 8 at that point, like he says, I want no part of this.
Oh, like he did against Washington? Oh. That's the one you like he did that when he shot that 3? Oh,
thank you.
So don't criticize. You better not have a problem with the shot that he took against Washington. That was his low point.
Okay, then. That game alone should have knocked him out of the MVP race, because Washington came into that game 10-17 and beat the Lakers at home, because what happened at the end of regulation? Well, Russell Westbrook said, I got LeBron, after Hashimura had been taking him all night and done a pretty credible job on LeBron James. And Russ says, no, I got him. And Scotty Brooks says, okay, Russ, whatever you say, you're coach. And then what happened? Can we see the end of this game? LeBron goes to his left.
You got an and one.
And he actually kind of lucked in a shot. It barely greased in. And it's an and one. And he goes to the line. And what do I always tell you, Shannon Sharp? That was a pretty lucky bounce he got. Here is LeBron James, the worst superstar free throw shooter late game that you will ever see. He has no clutch gene from the free throw line. It's like almost an air ball. He barely nicks the front of the rim on what would have been the game-winning free throw. And you're saying he's still the MVP? Come on, Shannon, that's pathetic.
Yeah, if you look at him, Skip, he shot that ball, and a lot of it lately he's been shooting the ball with all arms. He doesn't have enough knee bend and putting his legs into it, so the ball, because a lot of his shots have hit the front of the rim. But all I'm saying, Skip, I don't believe LeBron James has done anything to harm his MVP candidacy. For the simple fact is he was playing without his second and third best players, and the other guys that's also in the running has done nothing. And while you talk about the Washington Wizards, they also beat the Boston Celtics. They've also beaten the Brooklyn Nets. They went on the road, and they also beat, if I'm not mistaken, they beat Portland, they beat Denver. So what you keep saying, oh, the lonely Washington Wizards.
10-17.
But, they got an NBA, they're 10-17, but Bradley Beal's leading the league in scoring. Russell Westbrook has as many triple-doubles as anybody. He's a superstar. So on a given night, if you don't play your best basketball, they can light you up. And that's what happened. As the Brooklyn Nets, what Russ and Bradley Beal are capable of doing. Even when they had their big 3, Russ beat them with their big 3. So don't pretend like Washington are just slouches. Yeah, they got up to a horrendous start. And they lost last night, a game they easily could have won. I think Bradley Beal kind of lost track of the time because he was looking to pass the ball, and last second he shot it, and it almost went in. But, Skip, for me, when I look at it, LeBron is averaging 25, 8, and 8. Is it the record that I thought they would have? Absolutely not. But I did not envision Dennis Schroder. Dennis Schroder is that smart plus. Skip, you know, everybody has that guy.
Yeah.
Like you said about Pat Bev, he's not extremely talented, but he provides something that nobody else can.
Okay, back to the Washington game. LeBron was 2 of 10 from 3 in that game. LeBron had 8 turnovers that should have been 9 because he should have had a charging foul at the end of the game. When he knocked down Bertans, he just ran over him and they didn't call it. That would have been the 9th turnover.
Right.
The point is, that game in overtime comes down to what? Could we see what it comes down to? No clutch gene. It just comes down to make it, LeBron. Just make it. If you're that guy, you're Mr. Logo 3, you have to pull up. You pulled up before you needed to because I want to make this higher degree of difficulty. Just go ahead and shoot your shot. Make one of them. Just make one.
Oh, he shot his shot.
Yeah, okay.
He shot his shot.
So he shot his shot, and he lubricked it. Didn't even come close. Didn't lip out, right?
Hold on. So let me ask you a question. Every time every historically great player has had an opportunity to win the game on a last-second shot, they've done that. I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. So Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Kobe Bryant, all the historically great shooters that have taken the shot, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. So every time they shot the ball on it with a chance to win the game, or tie the game, they've done that.
Okay, but what was our big premise going into this? No AD, MVP. This is your chance to rise, shine, and run away from the field. You could all but close the deal. And in 7 games without Anthony Davis so far, LeBron is shooting 26% from 3 and 62% from the free throw line. Pathetic, pathetic. So you can't tell me that he's still the MVP unless you make the total default case. He has obviously not enhanced his own case as MVP. You can't make that case.
Let me ask you a question. In the games that they played earlier this year without Anthony Davis, and they had LeBron and Dennis Schroder, how many games did they lose?
Okay, but what was our premise? You told me 6 and 3. I thought LeBron would take it up a notch and just take these games over.
So let me ask you a question. So you knew that Dennis Schroder was going to be in health and safety protocols, and he was going to miss 4 games. So that's why you said LeBron was not going to be. So you knew that?
These are home games against teams you should beat at home.
Skip,
this is Brooklyn without Kevin Durant. You can't beat Brooklyn without Kevin Durant. Really?
Skip, they got Kyrie and James Harden, 2 superstars. What did James Harden do? Let me ask you a question. What did James Harden do yesterday? Saturday night without Kyrie and Kevin Durant? What did he do? You got to be able to beat the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks are in what? 14th place, 12th place, 14th place. You got to be able to beat the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay,
James Harden.
I'm not making a case that Harden's the MVP. I didn't bring him up. I'm just saying Kevin Durant is the best player on the planet. When we have seen him this year, he has been the best. Nobody plays as dominantly as Kevin Durant, but he's been
Let me ask you a question.
He's had injuries. He's had protocol.
When Kevin Durant had to play with Kyrie, what's his record?
Okay, all I know is that Brooklyn beat your team at your place with no Kevin Durant. That's shameful.
Skip, they had Kyrie. Skip, stop now. So now you just stop. Now you're trolling me. Because they still had James Harden and Kyrie. When only 2 of the big 3 plays, they're 1 and 2. When only one of the big 3 plays, they're 1 and 2. So what's going on, Skip?
Kevin Durant,
help me out.
Kevin Durant has owned LeBron James. What do you think would happen if Kevin had played in that game? You'd have gotten blown out.
Skip, stop that. Kevin Durant has owned LeBron James once he went to Golden State and linked up with Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Check the tape. Check the tape when he was in OKC and he had Russ. And check it when LeBron only had Kyrie. Don't do that, Skip Bayless. Everybody knows that Kevin Durant did not own those. You remember what happened in the NBA Finals? You remember what happened when there was just them 2, basically them and Russ and Kyrie. You knew what happened. Don't do that. He owned it. He owned it once he got to Golden State.
Kevin Durant was handicapped by Russell Westbrook in Oklahoma City. He said, I can't win with him as the primary ball handler and decision maker. I got to get out of this. And he goes to Golden State, and he took over. And he took over back-to-back Game 3s in LeBron's house. Shot it right in LeBron's face in the first Game 3 and won back-to-back Finals MVPs at LeBron's expense. So what do you think would have happened if he had played when they came to Staples back a week and a half ago? You would have gotten blown out.
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing with you the validity of Kevin Durant's greatness. He's a transcendent player. He's historically great. I'm not arguing that. All I'm saying is, if you got 3 Skip, that's why teams are trying to get as many superstars as they can. It's because if 1 goes down, you still have 2. And if you got 4, if 2 go down, you still have 2. Or if 1 goes down, you have 3. The Brooklyn Nets have something that very few teams have ever had. They can lose a superstar and still have 2 superstars that can go get you 30, 40, or 50 on a given night.
Are you saying
the Lakers don't have that luxury?
Yeah, Dennis Schroder's a superstar? Is that the contention?
No, Skip. It's sometimes the role players, because I believe come playoff time, your superstars will do normally. 90% of the time, your superstars will do what they do. It's the role, it's the supporting actors, not the leads that will generally win you the game. And that's what happened. Dennis Schroder, is he a leading actor? No. But in his supporting roles, he's great at his supporting role. He's done, look, 2 playoff teams, and they held both of them under 100 points. Now,
So-
if you want to make a stronger, compelling argument for MVP, give that to Dame Lillard playing without CJ and Nurk.
No, they're not good enough. They're on a loot. Where they lost 4 in a row? No.
They lost like 4 in a row.
Okay, so let's go to turnovers. LeBron James is second in the league. He's been first in the league for a while in turnovers. He's now second to
Yeah.
Trae Young. Can you defend that? That's your MVP. He's second in turnovers. Really?
Skip, he handles the ball. Washington was very poor. They had 20 turnovers. LeBron turned it over 8 times. You can't have that. He started the game off the other night with 2 turnovers back to back. You can't have that. He understands that. And the thing that I would like LeBron is that when you're playing without AD or you're playing without Schroeder, you have the things that you would normally try when they're in the game, you can't try because you don't have the horses to help you overcome that. But he is what he is. I'm going to